What's going on, guys? This is Will from Table the Game, and today I'm going to do something a little different. I wanted to go over the games that I first started playing when I got into board games. These are the ones that got me hooked. I have 7 of them, and I'm going to start going over them in order from the very first game that I played to the 7th one, and then from there, the rest is history, as you guys can see behind me. All right, guys, the first game that I played, and this is no surprise, and it's not a stranger to anybody, and that is Catan. So the one thing that does disappoint me about this game in the sense of the community is I feel like it gets a lot of hate. But this game is it's really great. I don't play it that often anymore, and there's so many games that I do want to play. But what really drew me to this game is the biggest thing was how the board was just interchangeable. I'd never played anything like that before, and so it made every game just a little different, and you had to create a new strategy somewhat every game. How you got to play when it wasn't your turn. I had never played a game like that before. And so this game just gravitated to me, and also it just held my family's attention for so long. We played this game for so long. And out of every game that I've ever played, my family loves this one the most. And so it is a game that I'll always keep. It's a game that I'll always play from time to time. So Catan, this was the very first game that I played that just kind of opened my eyes to this hobby. All right, now the second game, this was a huge jump, and I'm actually going to talk about it a little bit later, but the second game was Scythe. So a friend of mine brought me to his house. We got this game out, and I'm telling you, I was extremely overwhelmed. I was like, what is this? And I'll be totally upfront. The first game I played, I mean, I did have fun, but I didn't understand it. I didn't know what I was doing. But what I really liked about it is it just showed me what games could be. It just blew me away how big it was, how much stuff was in it, and I didn't really appreciate it till later on. So we're going to talk about this game in a little bit. All right, guys, and the third game that I played when I got into the hobby was Archaeology: A New Expedition from Phil Walker Harding. So this is a designer that I highly respect. His games are simple, they're not super complex, they're not super long, but every one of the games I've ever played for him are very interesting, and I really enjoy them. And so anyway, what's special about Archaeology is this is the very first game that I bought from Board Game Geek. I looked it up. I just stumbled across the website one day after I got into Catan, got into Scythe, and I said, hey, let me just look up some games online, and found Board Game Geek. I was amazed at this website that I found. And so I just started looking up Indiana Jones type themes, archaeology type themes. I really love the theme. And it was this game or Jaipur. And because this game could play up to 5 players, I bought it. And man, we loved it. Me and my family played it so many times. Now, here's what I really enjoyed about archaeology was that on your turn, you had like 3 things you could do. And you could do all of them. And one of them was going into the marketplace. And you could do that as much as you wanted to, as much as you could. You could buy as many cards. And that freedom and that ability to do so many things just blew me away, because every game I'd ever played before, like back in the day, was on your turn, you got to do this one thing. You rolled your dice, you moved. And so Archaeology, number one, it was the first game that I went and bought. I found it on Board Game Geek. But number two is that freedom to do all the things you wanted to. You could do one or all of them or whatever you could do. And it just blew me away. It was super enjoyable. Archaeology, this is the third game that I played when I first got into the hobby. All right, guys, now the fourth game that I played when I first got into the hobby has one of my favorite mechanisms in it, and that is deck building, and the game is Star Realms. So if you guys have been paying attention to my channel at all, you guys know that deck building is a favorite mechanism of mine. Dune Imperium Uprising, or Dune Imperium, the base game, is one of my favorite games of all time. Why? Deck building has a major reason for that. Now in Star Realms, you have 4 factions, and usually I would collect, of course, all of them, but I would focus on 2 of them. But at the beginning of the game, you start off with this starter deck that's not very powerful. You get some money, you get a little bit of damage, and as you just continue through the game, you start building your deck, and eventually you have this powerful deck of bases and outposts and powerful cards, and you're just laying them all out and just wiping the floor with it. So Star Realms, we just played it so many times. Me and my son played it so many times. and I'll always keep this game. We'll get it to the table as much as I can. And of course, I've played so many other awesome deck building games, but Star Realms just has a special place in my heart because of how many times we played this game and how much fun we had doing it. So number 4 is Star Realms. Now the 5th game that I started playing when I got into the hobby is another game like Star Realms where it was mostly me and my son that played this game, and that game is Seven Wonders Duel. So this game has really held up the test of time. It's still very popular today. It is such a great game. Now I ended up getting the base game, the regular game. I got it used from someone. I've actually never played it. And I know it just seems like when I see anybody talk about Seven Wonders, they're usually talking about Seven Wonders Duel. I know they just came out with the Lord of the Rings version, which I really want to play it. I've heard that they did change it up a little bit, and it's possibly even better than this just because of the theme. But in Seven Wonders Duel, you are trying to win a few different ways. There's 3 ways you can win. Number 1, you can have a military victory. Now, I really didn't do a lot of military victories. And if you had that kind of strategy when you played Seven Wonders Duel, let me know in the comments. I would really like to know if that's something that you did. Number 2, a scientific victory. And then the third is just whoever has the most points at the end of the game. I think for me, it was probably scientific or the most points. It's been a long time since I played this game, but it's a game that I really want to get it back to the table because I had so much fun playing it. It was I didn't play it as much as Star Realms with my son, but we played it quite often, and it's just really great game. So this is the 5th game, Seven Wonders Duel. The 6th game was a game that my family played, and we played it quite often. It really moved us from Catan to like the next level, or just to a new type of game, and it is Splendor. So Splendor is one of those games that just everybody needs to try it. It's fairly simple, and it can be repetitive. But now that I've played it so many times, there's only like a few strategies that you can have, or for me personally, that I know or I try to use. So in that regards, I don't really play it very often anymore, but especially if you are new in board games, this game is just so much fun, and how you have the different levels, and how you just have your choices. You have a few choices that you get to choose on your turn. You can pick up coins. You can get 2 of one coin, or you can get 3 of another, or you can buy a card, or you can reserve a card. And then if you get enough of certain gems, you can get the nobles. And my strategy is always to focus on those nobles. So what I have found, that if you're going to get nobles, whoever's going to win the game is going to get nobles. And so Splendor was a game that we played Catan for so long, and my family just gravitated towards Splendor, and we just had such a great time playing. It's a game you can play 30 minutes. The components on this original version they're really great. Really great components. The gems and things they're thick. It's super cool. So Splendor, if you haven't played it, it's a great entry level game for new board gamers. So you need to give this one a try. Last game we're going to go over is the last game, because once I played this game, I officially became a board gamer. And so that game is Wingspan. So let me go over a little bit about this game. So I had told you that Scythe was the 2nd game that I ever played. And I was at my friend's house that had taught me this game, Scythe, and I was like, man, I want to get something. And so I had talked to him, and he recommended Wingspan. And so he had never played it before, so I looked it up. It looked interesting, so I bought it. Now, when I got it out and I saw the rule book was like 30 pages, and the look of the game, I'll be totally upfront, it didn't look that fun to me. It looked very odd. It was a different game. I'd never seen a game like before. But when I started learning the game, it was actually very easy. It was super intuitive. And so me and my wife played it one time. We had a great time. And then after that, we just got hooked. It became a game that we played every week. Every Saturday morning, we'd wake up and drink some coffee and get Wingspan. Now, we played 2 or 3 games every Saturday morning, and then also throughout the week. So Wingspan is just a great game, of course, about collecting birds. And you got the forest habitat, you got the grasslands, and you got the wetlands, and just trying to build your birds. There's so many different goals. You got round goals. You got all types of different things. It's a game that it's my first game that had every single expansion to this game. and just really love it. Stonemaier Games, of course, is one of my favorite publishers of all time, but Wingspan really sealed the deal for me. And so once we played this, I was hooked, and I just fell in love with board games, and that was it. All right, guys, at the beginning of this video, I told you I was going to talk more about Scythe. So the reason I wanted to get this game back out is because this was the second game I ever played. And really, I was a little overwhelmed when I played it. I didn't understand it. And also, my friend, pretty much, he was probably telling me what to do on every one of my turns. So as I started playing more board games, I got this game back to the table. I ended up getting my own copy, and I really fell in love with it. And there's a lot of reasons why. Is number one, out of all these games, this is the most complex game out of all the games I just showed you. But the reason is there's so many different things you can do in this game. So a few things that I really like about it is, so you have your player board, and you have two different things that you get to do on your turn for each section on your player board, and you get to decide, which section you're going to choose. The only hindrance you have for most factions is you can't do the thing that you did last turn. But as you start placing different monuments, or you start doing different things, it opens up your player board. So it's like you're building this engine. You get more powerful. So as you're gaining popularity at the end of the game, as your popularity grows, you're going to gain more points. You're accomplishing all these different tasks to hopefully end the game at some point. As you place workers out, you get to build resources, and you get to start accumulating more resources. The combat in this game it's very unique. It's simple, but really great. And so really, Scythe is just a game that I think will stand for a long time. It's just a great game. All right, there you go. That was the top 7 games that brought me into the board game hobby. So I would really love to hear from you guys. Number one is, have you played these games? What do you think about these games that I just showed you? Number two, and more importantly, is what games brought you into the board game hobby? What was the first games you played that really caught your attention and really sucked you in? I would love to hear about those games. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.